Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question, are there children? There's no children inside this building.
Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the US taxpayers' expense. And in this video we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has
Of course, one of the politicians is a fat white woman. Speaking of Jew daycare.
seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked.
He's a handsome lad. I swear to God, he better be based. If this copper's not based, I'm gonna be very, very upsetty.
How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud.
His voice sounds really familiar. I don't know from where. Like, I don't know who he is. Like, he's just a random boomer. Well, he's not a random boomer since he did his own private investigation on this. But, like, his voice sounds really familiar. Jordan Peterson. Who is it? Who does it remind? He literally sounds like Jordan Peterson. Oh my God. Is this like a northerner boomer like type of speaking where like it's kind of high pitched and soft? Is that like something that happens up north with the boomers? Jordan Peterson, if he did, like he was gonna cry. Yeah.
And I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota.
So 3/4 of that is Somalian owned. And I think we both know that Somalians are not actually doing any transportation in that case. You know, actually work a functioning business. That this is all a scam. Which I guess that's, you know, to be expected. Because like I said before, I have covered the Somalian stuff in Minnesota quite a bit at this point. Especially with LNMR. So like this is not like that surprising to me, but at the same time seeing the actual numbers with it being like 800 out of 1,020 of them Somalis. The urge the Fed post grows, and we're only 3 minutes in.
Ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So right here we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a child care not far from here in Minneapolis that has two child cares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children. I have never seen a single child there ever, and I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids, never at any of them. They're all fraught with violations, and even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the...
Remember, chat, if you weren't already mad enough that there's Somalians in America, because Somalians shouldn't be in America in the first place, they're called Somalians. They literally have a whole country called Somalia, where they come from. That's where their ancestors have come from. That's where they're supposed to live. They're Somalians, not Americans. So if you are not already angry by the fact that there's Somalians in America, your tax-paying dollars, your hard-earned money, okay, whatever percentage that you pay depending on your tax bracket, that is going to support all these foreigners that shouldn't be here in the first place, including the Somalian healthcare scam. You in New York, you in Florida, you in Texas, wherever the fuck you currently live in America, even in fucking Alaska, okay? Your federal tax dollars are partially going to this Somalian fucking scam in Minnesota. And it also goes in Maryland, because there's another scam in Maryland as well. They're all over the place. It goes to the fucking Mexicans, too, that are scamming, that have social security scams and immigration lawyers to help get their citizenship. It goes to the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, who are eating the cats and the dogs, okay? It goes to the Haitians in Evansville, that the governor of Indiana wants to import there. It's going to the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, okay? It's going all over as to all these immigrants that shouldn't have been here in the first place, that have only come in the past 50 to 25 years alone, okay? Your hard-paying tax dollars. Now, we all know that government's stuffed here. I don't think anyone's actually a big fan of the government here. But the cherry on top is that you're subsidizing the people who hate you.
The maddening thing is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And the government knows about this.
The government knows, they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks. What has happened is that...
I'm very curious how much of a kickback that Tim Walz gets in particular. Like, Ilhan Omar, oh my god, I forget how much her wealth has increased. But she has greatly increased her wealth since about 2019. And, well, that makes sense, because she's Somalian, and she often makes a million speeches in Somalian, talking about how Somalia is her home, she misses her home, she loves the Somalian president, she loves the Somalian people, she hates America. She does this all in Somalian, too, of course. Her getting kickbacks from this makes sense. But Tim Walz, I'm very curious to see how much he actually gets from this, because, you know, he's a huge part of the problem, too. He's also the one writing the checks. And then there's a bunch of other people in the government that are just the plebeians, right? The office workers that are just passing the paperwork along. Like, how do they not see this and not want to, like, become a whistleblower? I know that a lot of government workers are Democrats, but at the same time, they're getting paid by the government themselves. But how can you, as a normal human being, not look at what's happening and just the paperwork that you have to file, just being a typical office worker in the Jew daycare, and not want to say something? I get the high-end politicians getting some sort of kickback for this, but, like, still, I mean, not like somebody's gonna, okay, to be fair, not like a whistleblower is gonna be able to do much, because even with this video that Nick Shirley has created, I highly doubt anything's gonna actually happen. Like, I have such little faith in the system. Trump's been talking about deporting Ilhan Omar for months upon months now. I think even years technically. He's been harder about it, but nothing's gonna fucking happen. They make jokes and memes on the Homeland Security page about how she married her brother and therefore the scam to get her citizenship, but nothing fucking happens to actually get her deported here. So they're not gonna actually handle this case with a massive fucking fraud, clearly. So we're just gonna sit here. We're gonna be mad. I'm grateful for Nick Shirley's work and partnering with this boomer to uncover this, so more people are aware of this. But what's actually going to happen from this? Because people are not speaking out, not being a whistleblower in the government, which we know once again, not like that would probably do anything anyways. That's going to probably happen from this video. There's too many politicians getting kickbacks in this. Both Republicans too, by the way, know about this. It's not simply just evil Democrats. So I would probably say they're the worst, but Republicans are fully aware of what happens with this, and they do this in red states as well. Not just with Somalians, but with other groups too. So what's actually gonna happen from this? It's just so fucking frustrating. And we're only 5 minutes in. Somebody taught the Somalians to do this. Yes, that's the cherry. Like, okay, there's many cherries on top. I hope you like cherries, chat. But keep in mind, Somalian IQ on average is 68. Mental retardation is about between 70 to 75. It used to be 85. Okay, the IQ that people understand per capita is 90. Like, they can't think 15 seconds ahead. They're literally too fucking retarded. So there's no way they could actually make this scheme on their own. There's no fucking way they could actually do this on their own. They're 100% getting help from somebody in high powers. Whether that be like a tiny hat or just a more wealthy politicians, just whatever the case is, they are getting assistance to create these scams in the first place. But and so here we are, sitting here, watching this video as the fraud's getting uncovered, which we already knew there was a decent amount, but this goes into significantly in depth. So once again, shout out to Nick Shirley for doing this in the first place. And we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk and we're gonna get mad as hell because blackpilling is bad. We shouldn't blackpill, but we're gonna get mad as hell and nothing's gonna fucking happen. But we still got 40 minutes left, chat. So let's carry on. Let's get even more mad.
Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud.
It's called white guilt. We lost World War II. Like, we straight up just lost World War II, chat. I don't care if that's spicy. Winters is probably going to have to edit it out of the video when he makes this into a video or whatever the case is. I don't fucking care. We lost World War II. I firmly believe that now. Like, you cannot look at what has happened to the West as a whole and now recognize the fact that we as a Western society have degraded significantly in the past roughly, 80 years since we won. It's been a rapid decline since World War II, as liberalism has completely taken over, the 60s civil rights bullfucking shit, and then the amnesty in the 80s in California, and then we just keep on importing more and more people. We used to be about 85% white when my dad was born, and this was rough, sometime, 50s, 60s, we're talking here, okay? We used to be like 85% white. Like homogeneous society, the function, it needs to be over 80%. So technically we were technically part of that, but like we were on the threshold of that, which is uncomfortable. And since then we're at 55% now. 55% now since my dad was born. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse, especially if they get rid of the especially when the boomers die, who are all white, by the way. There's a reason why you don't see any foreign boomers, and if they do, they have strong accents because they came over recently. Okay? Nobody actually born in the 60s is a foreigner because we didn't have foreigners in the 60s. And so we lost, we'll go back to my original point. We lost World War II. We live in this whole shadow of being scared about being racist or Islamophobic, as he says, or being sexist, or whatever the case is, that we're all equal in God's eyes and we have to let everyone in. Like that this is brand spanking new, and yet we had to live with the guilt of what our ancestors did, which not even really our ancestors 80 years ago. Yeah, we lost World War II. This is not a how a winning country runs. But here we are.
And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it. Tim Walz saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walz is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history, anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are.
Well, I'm gonna believe him. I don't mean to press X it out. I know the Somalian community in Minnesota is the biggest in the country, and so it makes sense. But I know we have other scams happening. I mean, look at New York and look at California. They're jokes for a reason. I'm sure there's I'm sure there's bajillions of dollars of fraud in those two states alone, because of how many foreigners they have there. I mean, Zuri Madami recently nominated some fucking fat lesbian bitch to be the chief firefighter, and she's never actually worked once in the firefighter, like become a firefighter ever. But she was nominated because she's a fat lesbian, and that's just the appointment. Just imagine how much the actual money is being sent down the drain for all the different programs that he's going to be putting in place, and already in place in New York City. Because once again, New York's infamously known as a shithole. California, same thing. It's all these blue states. And for the record too, red states have these problems. Texas is being overrun by Indians because Ted Cruz doesn't actually give a shit, and he's too loyal to Israel. He has Israel's fucking, wailing wall stuck up his asshole permanently. But so he doesn't actually fucking care.
They're very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon.
Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Child Care, which actually has another child care registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received 1.3 million and 20.
I believe him, but I wish he actually has photos of this too. It would just be extra details just to enrich, just a multiple photos throughout the seasons. Because he said 6 months and there's snow on top of there. So summer with bright flowers and the green grass, and it's clearly warm. And how warm does it get into Minnesota? 80 degrees or something like that. And just multiple photos as it turns into fall and then into winter. That would just extra enrichment into the video. Just watching that time lapse go on there. There should be satellite photos. That's actually a good idea. That would have been just delicious if that was added in.
2021 they got 987,000. In 2022 they got 714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, 1.604 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024 they got about 800,000, and in fiscal year 2023 they got $904,059. This place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Bought over $5 million in just about 3 years from the two of them. That's your tax-paying dollars, by the way. That's your tax dollars. I saw on Twitter somebody was making $180K in America, but his gross income was $120, and 60,000 of that was in taxes. 60,000 of that, which granted he's already lucky, I believe, in my opinion, to be able to make that much money in the first place. So good for him. I'm only slightly jealous, but 60,000. Imagine 60 fucking thousand. That's somehow so much it makes in this. That's how much a lot of people make in 1 year, right? 60,000 is how much a lot of people make in 1 fucking year alone, and that's how much he had to pay to the government for his taxes. Imagine you someone who does make 60,000 a year, okay? Yourself. How much money do you spend to the government? What's actually how much your take home pay in the end? It's obviously not going to be 60,000 because it's based off how much you make in percentages wise. But imagine you would probably have like another $10,000 in your pocket. What would you do with that extra $10,000 if that wasn't the case? If with the government, that's $10,000 that you could have in your pocket that's being sent to the Somalian scams in all these different states, and you're paying for this. You're paying for this. That guy, $60,000 in taxes, is also paying for this. It's just straight up fucking theft. It's just straight fucking theft. Jesus, they don't even let people start a business without milking them, try and give these assholes free money. Yes, exactly. I'm not an actual communist, right? I'm not a socialist. I do believe people should be able to make, a shit ton of money if they're able to, right? So good on that guy. But the fact that the government took basically how much they make in a year in taxes just fucking blows my mind. Because I can't even imagine making that, man. And then the government just takes it all away.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility that you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in. And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Yeah. Try to get in, rang the doorbell. Nobody showed up.
Just those plastic cups are sitting there, just littered, not actually thrown into a trash bin. There's literally trash bins right there in the background that are just are surprisingly empty. And they don't even walk the 10 feet over to put them there. But okay then.
They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't...
Actually, hold on a second. Open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now, maybe I missed, he said what the time was, but I think it's past 7 a.m. It's in the morning. I think it's past 7 a.m. So much for being open 7 days a week between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m.
And it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside, or...
There's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody?
Ooh, somebody's watching them. Interesting.
How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building. Right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No. Can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
Doesn't know if she's...
I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen any children at a child care center. Okay, then.
Never seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see.
Okay, so now $8 million now. The first one's already $5 million. Now we got another extra $3 million here. And they barely just started. They barely just started on their hunt of what they could find in an afternoon. And we're already at the nice, $8 million. Oh my god. That's fucking insane. I'm sure, cause there was that person watching at the door, right? I don't know how loud this guy was, cause to us he sounds loud because he's speaking right to the microphone. But I'm not sure how well he would have been heard for the person that was at the door listening, clearly watching what they were doing. They probably called somebody. That's why the Somalians kind of came up. And, it looked like they were dudes. So, being all threatening. This is the Somalian gangs, right? Because they would totally kick, unfortunately, Nick Shirley's and his boomer's ass. relatively easily if there's 4 Somalian dudes and just these 2 guys, okay? Because the boomer, no offense to the boomer, but like he's not gonna be able to do much. And well, when you are, you know, overwhelmed, it's a 4-on-1 fight. Doesn't really help much, right? So no wonder they got out of fucking town so fast, and they're so protective about this because this is how they're gonna be able to get their money. They don't like it's an open secret. Everybody knows about this, but they still don't want this to be popularized either because well, this is their grift, right? This is how they get their free money. And like all those black windows too. Just imagine what's happening behind those windows because right now it doesn't look like anything's happening in there, and the cars haven't moved in 6 months, and it makes me think that like nobody's actually kind of in those businesses, especially if the doors are locked but the windows are blacked out. What are they actually doing in there? Because there was that one person at the doorway. There was the other woman who, told them to basically go fuck off, that she doesn't know anything, right? They came out of the woodwork as soon as the call was made. What are they doing in that building? I would like to believe they're not doing that. There's nothing in there. They just have one person manning there just to help protect it, and that way they can claim there's a warm body in there for the government fraud. But the windows were blacked out. We know there's criminal gangs in there. Is there human trafficking? Is it drug trafficking? Like these are low life criminals. The worst of the worst. Like it should be illegal to have, especially for a daycare center. It should be illegal to have the windows blacked out because what's happening in there? Even if there actually were kids in there, kids need sunlight, and it's to protect the kids. What's happening? Demon stuff? Yeah, more than likely. But we'll never fucking know until the police actually do a raid, but that's not happening either, obviously. Ugh. They're writing up grant applications all day? I think they're gonna be doing... They only need, like, one application. And obviously the government's in on this, and they just approve it anyway, so the one writing the checks, as the boomer said. So... we only need to do that, like, once a year so they can renew their grant? They're more than likely doing other shady shit in there. How ill the above, gun running, drug trafficking, human trafficking, etc. It would be Somali kids, who cares? I don't think it's just Somali kids. Right, like, as the boomer said, he's never seen a single kid actually go in there or outside or anything like that. In all the, 9 years? So, I don't think it's going to be Somali kids. Like, they have female genital mutilation. They do have PDF tendencies, to say the least, and child brides. So they don't actually really care about their own kids. But it's like the Muslim rape gangs in Europe, which we also have here in the US, by the way. They purposely target whites. And while Somalians are, as far as I'm aware, not as violent in the US compared to like the Muslims or the blacks. I mean, they do have the Somalian pirates, after all, in their own fucking country. We do have warlords there. I hate to imagine. I'd be very curious. Like, right now, this video is all about fraud. But I would actually like police reports on what's happening. Actually, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure in one of my many Somalian streams, there was a rape gang that I covered. I'm pretty fucking sure that I've covered one of those, actually. So yeah, they definitely have rape gangs there too. So I'd be I'm a little bit concerned.
If there's any children, let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars.
I knocked on the door and
look at the door too. Like I kind of noticed with the other one, but that hadn't had like the old stained glass on it. But this door, is that like aluminum foil?
Millions of dollars.
Like it looks like some sort of aluminum foil. It has this weird white like paper stuff, like when you like tape something on like a door or a wall and you rip it off and like it doesn't you don't fully get rid of it either. It just kind of sticks there. Like the door is fucking nasty and shit, but it's obviously supposed to cover the door so you can't actually see inside the door. So not only can you not see inside the windows for whatever shady shit they're doing in there, but you can't even look inside the door to see where you're fucking stepping into if you were to open that thing. Like, this is they're doing something. It has to be human trafficking or drug trafficking. It has to be something gravely illegal beyond fraud if they're going through the whole thing of just boarding up every single thing. Would you entrust your kid to a Somalian on anything? Of course not. But the issue is not giving your kid to Somalians. The issue is that they pick them off the street. Like, that's what they fucking do. It's done on purpose. And the Somali rape gangs that happen also here in the US do the same thing. They pick them off the fucking street. You're not with the human trafficking. It's human trafficking for like a reason. It's not simply like they like, here, random Yakub, you know. As the creator of the white race, I entrust you with my 3-year-old girl, you know, for this daycare center. No, they're like, you let your kid play outside at 7 p.m. and next thing you know, your kid's gone. That kind of shit that's happening.
I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door.
Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Why?
Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare.
And after a few questions, the lady went silent.
Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now
I am surprised that person answered. I'm not surprised by them telling the fuck off, essentially.
we're going to Sweet Angel Childcare.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which has its license for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I try to find a spot for my son Joey, and they
The goddamn wallpaper's upside down. It's literally the same fucking thing, but the wallpaper's upside down. And once again, the whole place is boarded up again. Can't fucking see anything, and it looks like goddamn shit. I mean, the look at that fucking poster. It's been there for ages. Holy fuck.
would not open the door.
I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cuz I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
Notice this guy has AirPods. Is that the Colombian? It's that fancy jacket brand. It looks brand new. It looks like brand new jeans. You know, freshly shaven. Just standing there. Came out of literally nowhere. Just popped out into existence. And then this guy, I saw him in the background a couple minutes ago too. Just though I think he's part of Nick Shirley's crew. He's a little bit too white. I'm not exactly sure. But he's a little bit concerning too with his face being covered. And just questioned, you know? Oh, what's happened, huh? Sure.
Yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah.
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal.
Look how fucking confused he is too. That 60 IQ is 68 IQ. Sorry. I lowballed it there. My apologies. That 68 IQ is working hard to understand numbers. At least I had the excuse that I'm a retarded woman. But come on.
Year 2025, it says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here.
When?
State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
I was there before. Meanwhile, he's just existing there, just popped out of, nowhere, questioning them to basically try to see if they could fuck off. The money that they calculated for the past 3 years. So much for working there before?
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
happened?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You worked here. Okay, well then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
Where does she come from?
No. Yeah, I would like to
And
see.
look how fucking fat she is, too. Like, look at that fucking whale. Just, okay. I've noticed with every single Somalian woman, they're like black women. I mean, they are black, right? Like, they're all fucking ginormous. I know they're all on welfare, right? And so they're probably on the food stamps. They're probably supporting that judge not to get the food dyes out of the food. because that got denied. That activist judge stopped that from happening for RFK. Like, they're all fat as fuck, leeching off, once again, your tax dollars. Just loitering around, not doing anything, covered in skin to toe. Though that's a lot of skin to cover. Once again, that looks like a new winter jacket. It's a nice winter jacket too. But no. No, you can't put your kids into the daycare. Okay.
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey.
Who is your son, Joey? I don't know, my son?
Can I check out daycare center?
No! You're a liar.
And now they're saying it's something in fucking... Oh, wait, hold on a second. MK, isn't that a fancy brand too? I recognize that MK. Isn't that like a fancy woman brand? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up. I recognize this shit. I see, listen, chat. You can tell that I'm not Somalian because I get my clothes off Amazon. Is that like Mary Kate or something? Michael Kors? Okay, Michael Kors. Let me see if I can see their logo. Oh my fucking god, yeah it is. Yeah, this is a fancy fucking brand that women like to get. And that's a brand new jacket she's got there too.
I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to
There is one child in there, probably the woman who's running the scam.
know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Oh, now she's playing the racism card? Like, no offense, Nick Shirley. He's wearing like a sweatshirt and stuff, so I can't see the muscles. But he's pretty skinny looking. Okay, he could be lean. I really don't. I mean, he could probably. I mean, he could beat me up. He could probably. I don't know. He could probably beat the woman up too. But she's also like what 300 pounds. Okay, like that's a pretty heavy weight that he's gonna have to lift there. Okay, no offense to Nick Shirley, but we got Miss Landwell over here. That's gonna be like trying to move a boulder. Okay, like what is she scared of? Like, come on, does she really think he's gonna do anything other than just record her? Like, but he's a white male. You're racist. You're racist. You're gonna beat me up. We're gonna ignore the crime statistics. But yeah, because you're a white man, I'm so scared of you.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
No.
you said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now.
And then she just laughs that off. Like, I'm racist, okay? I am openly racist. Fuck this. Well, actually, don't fuck it. You're probably gonna get AIDS or some shit like that from her.
They're all getting mad because he's showing the paperwork of this business being registered as a business. 74 children, no children. We saw one child when the lady opened up the door.
So
But now
where did
they're
this
all
money
getting
go?
mad.
What was this money spent on?
And
1.26 million.
she's a monstrosity too. Jesus
Was
Christ.
that money
Ask
spent?
the owner.
There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking
That's
for
not
the
my
owner
proof.
if you're
That's
telling me
not
to
my
talk
proof.
to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing?
Oh, and now a fat NWAL starts pulling up now. Oh, and the bus is active. Okay, so now the kids are coming out of the woodwork too. Okay.
It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
What is she saying, the gobbledygook?
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day.
Yeah, they're getting a bit heated here, and I'm sure that. Oh, is that a white lady? I think that kind of looks like a boomer white lady. I hope that's not the case. Okay.
As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city.
And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center. Absolutely no signage.
I know I literally just started this again, but I literally said they are calling up their friends to once again, this is all a fucking criminal gang. They're calling up their friends to tag them along to watch these guys. I that was happening with the other child kills facilities. And I knew it was gonna fucking happen as this went on. But anyway,
And there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million within the past
5.9 million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now.
From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality.
so there's been a bunch of clips circulating on Twitter, and I've been trying to avoid them as much as possible. So raw, reaction live on stream. But this is an infamous one where they literally spelled learning wrong. Okay, it's supposed to be Quality Learning Center, and in their own fucking sign, where you're supposed to be learning, they misspelled learning. There's no N in it. Like, you can't make this shit up. Like they like, and who made this sign and then also approved it and then they didn't send it back? Like, is there a bunch of sign fraud happening in Minnesota too? Where like these Somalian companies are making signs for these Somalian run scams, so they all are like interconnected and incestuous with each other, and they literally can't fucking read because they're Somalian and they shouldn't be here in the first place. They can't speak English clearly, and just making these signs. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign. That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up.
So this is Quality.
Wait, who shouted that don't open up?
This fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up.
Can we see the person? I don't think we can see the person, but it seems like somebody's like over there is yelling don't open up. No, I'm not sure if that person can hear them in the building, but like, Jesus fucking Christ.
So this is Quality Leering
and
Center.
notice again that the door, like all the other ones, is completely covered.
I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up.
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up.
How do you have ice here?
Every single fucking time this happens, there are two wolves inside of me that want to fight. And I have to wrangle those two wolves inside of me, trying to figure out which one is the winner. Because I am torn between the one wolf that says she is white, she is a white woman, she is my people. Every other group is tribal except for whites. So we need to defend our own, even if they're being retarded. In the case of, since she's a white woman, needs to protect herself from herself, repeal the 19th Amendment, stop her from driving. She's an old lady, so she should be taking care of her grandkids at her house or at her family's house, or whatever the case is, right? Protect them from their own. But then there's the other wolf inside of me that says shoot traitors, because she is a huge part of the problem. She is the one voting for the Somalians to come in. She is obviously recording. She's yelling at them not to open up, claiming that they're ICE, and actively working against her own people and the benefit of foreigners that are actively defrauding her. And who knows what they're doing to other white children. Who knows, like, if this lady does have kids or grandkids, which is debatable, like, she's risking her own grandkids' life by allowing these Somalians to function in her community. And every single time a white woman betrays her race like this, those two wolves fight inside me. So I don't know if I should be loyal to the white woman or, well, she's a traitor. So therefore, I don't care what happens to her. No pity, no remorse, no fear, but she's a woman too. Like, it's not like, if this was a white man, then I would probably say, okay, yeah, he should get the bullet too, because he's a traitor, right? Treason deserves the death penalty. But she's a woman, and women are retarded. Literally. Like, I firmly believe women are retarded. They go with whatever the popular thing is. Minnesota is a blue state. The Twin Cities are blue cities. She is she's probably Gen X at this point, but they're, older Gen X are basically boomers. She has been brainwashed her entire life to hate her own race and hate her own people, and inundated with the media about how evil whiteys are and these poor, helpless Somalians. And so her empathy, her suicidal empathy, gets targeted at them. and instead of her own people because she's been brainwashed because she's a woman. There's a reason why propaganda purposely targets women and children after all, right? And so like she I see her as a victim in a way because she is a woman and she's a white woman. So it's like, okay, what should happen to her? Well, seeing her standing there shouting, "Do not open up," ICE and recording, it's like, okay, somebody somebody just round her up and throw her in the kitchen, give her some grandkids. You know, it's fucking Christmas. She should be celebrating with her family or some shit like that. Come on. Women follow things that believe they'll give them security. Yeah, they follow the social order. And if the grand social order is to protect the Somalians, then, well, she's gonna protect the Somalians. That's why, and I'm sure I'm gonna be considered part of this, and I understand why. That's why, as it's becoming more popular to be conservative, now of course, that's a huge fucking net there. You will see more women, and we already have been seeing more women since Trump became president, shift over to the right because that is becoming the popular thing, and that just is what it is. That's what women do. And but in this case, when you're surrounded by in a blue city and you're Gen X or Boomer, well, that's not the popular thing. It's with the Gen Z. So there's a reason why witch hunting was a thing. Yeah, I guess. They did target a young woman on purpose with the witch hunts. So they're all jealous that the young women get the looks in the men. Let's say the crew was ICE. She's now interfering with law enforcement. In either case, she's stupid. Yeah, if the crew actually was ICE, then she should be thrown in jail.
Ma'am, I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million
Don't
over the
open up! It's ice!
$4 million?
Also, okay, sorry for pausing immediately again, but like, so as somebody mentioned earlier, if they actually were ICE, then she is obstructing law enforcement, which is bad, and she should be arrested if that was the case. But there's also the fact that she does believe they're ICE. Not only is she risking that, but like ICE goes after illegals, so she believes that this Leering Center is filled with illegals. Now, there are a lot of Somalians that are here legally, but I'm sure there's probably a decent amount that are here illegally too. So, but she's implying that this center is filled with illegals, and she's defending them, even though she believes they're here illegally. Really makes you think. Or she knows. I mean, she might know. She might know. But, which if either way, the implication there of them being illegals means that she is, like, this is the problem with legal immigrants, right? Because a lot of normies hear the word legal and they, oh, they're perfectly fine. They came here legally. They got the right paperwork. They're clearly good. You know, just let them all in, right? But legals are a very clear and cut case of they're not supposed to be here. They broke the law. It's a federal crime. They don't belong here. Get the fuck out of here. So to go as far to protect illegals that literally broke the fucking law, it's in the term illegal. That's a whole other level there.
In the last 2 years,
Go away!
what do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away!
Are you in favor of that?
Go away!
You know where
You're
the-
not welcome here.
Are you-
Shame on you.
Are you in favor of $1.9
Shame
million
on you. It's
going
ice.
illegally,
Don't open up.
fraudulently to this business that has quality learning center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up.
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are. You don't belong here.
I belong here just
I don't care who you are. You don't belong here. Ma'am, he is a white man who was born and raised in America and probably has ancestors that have been here since the Civil War or Revolutionary War. The Somalians that are supposed to be in that building arrived here 10 years ago or less. Who is the one who actually doesn't belong here?
just like you belong here.
Don't open up. It's ice.
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare center.
99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? Did they run away?
Why does she have keys on her neck? That's a lot of fucking keys just dangling there. Where did they go? Where did she come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Like, and who carries her keys on their neck like that? Is she part of this scam? Like, I thought she was just a lip-tard white woman who's just a race trader. But like, Well, I mean, granted, she would be even if she's part of the scam, but like being athlete part of the scam on top of that too. That's a whole other level. That's a whole other level right there.
Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
Yeah, that guy also needs security. Like I said, I heard Nick Shirley has security himself, which is great. But that boomer says he lives there in Minnesota, and he's literally risking his life by putting his face out there for this video, which last I checked had 50 million views on Twitter alone and over 560K on YouTube. Okay, this has gone massively viral here. And then there's been people in chat said that Kier should cover this. Obviously, I'm covering this, so I'm a nobody, right? And so, like, and I'll have Winters make a video off of this, and, you know, there's different views there. So, like, this is going to be getting just a ton of fucking views. Overall, it's gone completely fucking viral. This boomer needs security as well. By doing this, by admitting the fact that he's showing his face and admitting that he's doing all this research and work. He's been doing this for years at hand. If he magically has a heart attack and then like next month, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Aspen also reacted to this. There we go.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States. Get rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare?
Hold on.
Streets of the United States. Get rid of all the fraud.
Okay, that's a white dude. I was like, that's a nice car there. But why is he coming from that parking lot? There's, like I said before, every single person in the background is suspicious to me.
Fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child, you've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody in there.
We're gonna educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
99 children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None at all. None.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that here.
seen a child here.
No, not at all.
And so you've
8
never
years.
seen a child here for 8 years?
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel knowing that this place is receiving
Disgusting.
$1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's, you know, if they get caught for that, it's a federal offense. I know. I studied law.
And
If they get caught, well, it's the government that's paying this shit, so the government's more than happy about this. Oh, but this guy also needs security now too. Like seriously, every single person that they're interviewing here that's being taking part of this and even has a slightly negative opinion about what's happening is at risk. In my I firmly believe this. They are not going to take this easily.
you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Well, heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my God.
He knows. This guy knows. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. Well, where? Yeah, it's just. I've never seen nobody here at all
So how long have you been living here?
since 2017. 2018.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building.
No, not at all.
So this big daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the only window they do have, the door, is blacked out.
Yep, I see that. I've never seen anybody go in there.
Within just a few hours, we nearly approached $20 million in fraud, and we headed over to George Floyd's neighborhood to expose more of the fraud taking place.
George Floyd's neighborhood.
This place is called Future Leaders Early Learning Center, and it's licensed for 90 children. And in fiscal year 2025, they received $3.6 million. In fiscal year 2024, they received $3 million. So in 2 years, they got $6.67 million, claiming they have 90 children every day of the week, 5 days a week.
I mean,
So let's
these
find
people
out.
are making just about more money than NBA athletes.
And we don't even know if they're paying taxes, but we don't know where this money is going. Is it going to terrorism? Where is it going? But it's theft, it's fraud, and the reason I'm involved is I want it to stop. I care about Minnesota. I'm doing this for the people of Minnesota. I don't make a dime off all this time I've spent on this. I put my life at risk several times, but I'm determined to see this through and to correct what is wrong, what is evil.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you?
Ugh.
I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork or can I check out the daycare? No. Why can't I check out the daycare?
Well, I will give them credit. The door is not blacked out, and there's a painted tree in the background. And they opened up. So, progress.
Martin's not here.
Okay, but if I can I get paperwork or anything to submit my son little Joey to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Once again, that 68 IQ is working hard on trying to figure out, one, what he's saying, and two, how to respond to that.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card actually.
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with
I know it says unknown, but it sounds like I'll talk to your manager.
somebody? Where are the children at?
Oh,
Are they
and that fancy fucking brand new iPhone, or newish looking iPhone, of course.
Children here today?
No.
No children.
Yeah.
Why are there no children?
Two of Mexico.
Would my son little Joey have friends to play with here? No. No friends for little Joey.
Ah!
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day. So, little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare.
And because little
Joey's so
Joey couldn't
homeless.
get into a daycare, we went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they're receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center.
We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him into the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than
That 68 IQ can't even make up an imaginary number. It can't even say like 30 or something like that. It's just can't even think of a random number that just to pop out into existence.
5?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, so you don't really know.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here because there's
Why are you asking us about
the fraud.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot.
This is not a Joey spot. No, it's just for Somalian run scams, obviously. I noticed how the woman started panicking, being like, "Are you a news reporter?" Like, make it more obvious. Why don't you?
Yeah. But that's our number on the other bill. But this is we can't let you guys in. So.
Okay, thank you. So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
After being able to provide no evidence of them actually being an autism center in a place where a child could go, they shut the door and we headed to the next fraudulent daycare center that was just around the corner.
We're on to the next location. We're still trying to find little Joey a place to go to get some daycare.
So where we're going now is a place called Super Kids Daycare Center. Interestingly, this daycare center was shut down when it was called Creative Minds Daycare, and it had received $2.45 million this fiscal year, 2025. They had to shut down because there were so many violations, and they went and they just reopened under a new license, and they renamed the center Super Kids Daycare Center, LLC.
So they got shut down, then started another one.
Literally the next day.
So it's a miracle they got shut down in the first place, honestly. but then they just made a new one. Why don't you?
Creative Minds Daycare, $2.45 million got sent to this daycare center. We have empty parking lot. We do have a bus here. This is different. We'll see if we see anybody.
I knocked on the door, absolutely nobody was inside, and once again, no children could be heard anywhere.
At least these windows aren't closed, and you can see an office, desk, and paperwork. Okay, we're getting improvements here. We're getting improvements here.
Absolutely nobody was.
However, the rest of the blinds are closed, so either they fucked up and they forgot to close the blinds, or have somebody man there for the illusion that this is a functioning place. Once again, illusion, because then the rest of the windows have the blinds closed, so you don't see the kids. Who knows what those kids are going through if they were to actually if there actually were kids there. But fuck.
Inside, and once again, no children could be heard anywhere.
So David, once again, another child daycare center. We have a bus out here. No one's inside. Licensed for over 50 kids. No children anywhere. But yet, millions of dollars every single year.
So the sign says Creative Minds Daycare. They got in so much trouble. They had so many violations that they had to shut down, and they reopened the next day under Super Kids Daycare Center. You see 3801 Portland, 3801 Portland.
But they haven't even bothered to change the sign. And also, I want to know what those violations were. I really wish the boomer would actually list the violations, because I want to know how bad it actually was so this actually got shut down. Because they've already done what 5, 6 of these that they've gone around and tried to investigate that are clearly suspicious. Clearly something's going on with them. They're all next door to each other. Like it's clearly fraud. But for one to be so bad, they have so many violations they get shut down. That means it's absolutely abysmal. I wish I knew what those violations were and how many they were. That kind of deal. And then they didn't even bother to change the sign either. They just kept it open. Like, how can you make it even more blatantly obvious?
Which is where we are.
So that's fraud right there alone.
Millions and millions of dollars, and again, the kids are missing. Where are the kids?
You'd think if they had the same address, that whoever's inside or working at the Capitol here inside of Minnesota would just say, oh, maybe that's a red flag.
They just write the check. Human Services, they got to clean out the whole bunch. They're the ones who enabled this fraud. How can you not look and say, wait a minute, these two are registered at the same address?
On top of all of the child care centers, that's just only a small piece of the fraud. What other fraud are they committing here in Minnesota?
So another major piece of the fraud is the home health care industry. Where we're going now is a building that has 14 Somali-owned home health care companies in the same building.
14 of the same healthcare companies in one building.
14 home health care companies with different names in the same building.
How bad has Tim Walz managed the budget here inside of Minnesota?
So the last biennium, we had an $18 billion surplus. This biennium, we have a $6 billion deficit. That's a $24 billion swing in one biennium. How in the world can you burn through $24 billion in 2 years? This is how, right here.
I mean, they've been telling up the fraud so far. It's basically hit that level. But there has to be other scams too, because there's the autism scam, there's the daycare scam, there's the transportation scam. Like, I'm sure there's probably like the EBT scam too, and other welfare programs just in general. Like, there has to be a lot more than that. Then again, they're in debt now, so plus the revenue they make is just going towards that. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But Jesus fucking Christ.
This is a huge part of it.
And so would you say a lot of that is fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Absolutely. I would say better than 90% of it is absolute outright fraud.
And a large percentage of this fraud is from these healthcare companies that are charging the state millions of dollars while they actually aren't providing anything. In fact, the FBI just did a raid a few days ago on a building similar to the one we are about to enter. Inside of this building, there were 14 of nearly the exact same businesses offering the exact same services.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies.
African Immigrants Community Services, Dollar General, First Daycare Center, G&H York Trading Incorporated, Harun Law Office, Hashi Consulting. I was thinking about saying with Harun, but that'd probably be like foreign, like an immigration lawyer. There, but I was holding my tongue just in case. But then with Hashi Consulting right underneath it, yeah, no, they're totally both like some sort of like immigration lawyer scams or something along those lines. Helping Hands Home Care LLC, Hiawatha Senior Center, yeah, like that's a normal American name for a senior center. Hub Health Services, Aska Home Healthcare, KAAH Express, ARMHS, Logistics and Supplies, his fingers covering up that one, Midwest Quality Home Care, Better Home Healthcare, which is covering up a different name, Present Help Incorporated, Kwa Woo Coffee Company? Right. RS Distributors Incorporated, Safari Services, there we go. Now, straight up just saying it. Somali Ben Ardiri Community, Somali Community of Minnesota. Right. So, how, other than Dollar General, which I'm sure Dollar General is probably being run by the Somalians, and I definitely would not be shopping there. And then maybe the York Trading, but even then I'd be kind of concerned. How many of these are actually, like, real businesses with actual white people running them and carrying out a legit service? Because, seems like about 99% of them are just some sort of immigration bullshit and scam, whether it be a senior center or a healthcare or immigration lawyer or some community center. It's all just BS.
Loads of them right here. We want healthcare.
No,
yes,
it's
we'd like
okay.
to speak about getting healthcare here. Why can't I get healthcare here?
Wait.
Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security, armed.
Wow, make it more obvious you're totally doing something illegal here, why don't you?
This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here, another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know, says the lady at the front desk with the computer and a headset, also talking on the phone. Like she's doing the job of looking like she's supposed to be working there. And you know, she got the paperwork in the background and with the calendar and shit like that. But what is she actually doing? Or do they only serve Somalians? And what do they serve those Somalians actually?
Building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare.
Oh, and then a random Somalian there in the background. So it probably is some sort of Somalian only service. I mean, minus the whole fraud thing. Like, they could probably get them for discrimination if they really wanted to, if they're denying any white guys or any white people in there and just serving Somalians. I mean, that's like the least of the crime that they're committing, in my opinion. But that might be the easiest route.
Here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think's been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally,
My pea brain literally cannot compute that much money. Like, I literally cannot fathom that much money. It's just beyond my existence, okay? Well, once we get to 6 digits, that's when I start, like, you know, dissociating and zoning out and not being able to focus because it's just too big of a number. But 50 to 60 million in 1 year for one building with 14 different healthcare providers plus whatever the fuck's in there? I can't do this. I just I know, wow, I wonder what I could find instead. The worst part is, though, the sad thing, the real blackpilling thing, minus the fraud, the Somalians, and everything else in between, is that even without the Somalians here committing the fraud, the government would waste that money on something else. It would be on blacks instead for their own welfare programs, right? It would be on the Mexicans and all the illegal immigrants, right? Or it would be on something completely useless like, I don't know, a private jet that's not supposed to be private, but they make it private because that's part of the whole fraud that politicians do in general, or renovations, quote unquote. But are not needed, or it'd be like for something else. It'd be lining somebody else's pockets. This so happens to just be going to Somalians.
We were accepted into one of the daycare centers and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that, gentlemen matching your description, we're in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, fat fucking woman's a police officer. It's a miracle they actually was able to get to one that would take his stuff. Maybe they did that on purpose to try to kick him out, because once again, they all phone each other and be like, hey, there's a white guy recording and, you know, trying to oust us here. So somebody just, you know, claim that you're doing something and go away.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay. So
he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just
Who are you? Oh, it's a black woman.
checking
No, this is a
rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from, you know, multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Yeah.
So
As we got escorted.
I mean, he's not breaking the law. Like, and the thing is, like, he is assuming there's fraud Somalians there, but he's investigating it because of the controversy. And he is actually checking for rates to see what the rates are. So, like, they're both technically correct. And so he's not really trespassing. However, obviously him recording makes him suspicious there. And he's not actually breaking the law. He's not actually trespassing. Like, the cops showed up, the cops asked him to leave, he asked why, they explained it, and now he's leaving. And, like, he's not doing anything illegal there. He is following the law. He's not being an animal, screeching, claiming racism and attacking the cop, right? He's being respectful, and the cop's being respectful back. But the cop also is having to do his job, which is such a shame, because he's too handsome to be a cop. Like that. Like, he's too handsome to actually to be like a cop like that and have to enforce such shitty rules like this to support these clearly fraudsters. And, like, the thing is, he's also got a claim backing it up. He actually got rates from somebody at the very least, so, like, he's got the proof behind it that he's just asking for rates. And yet the cops have been called because the Somalians cried about it, and because they know they're being ousted, because they're not actually giving rates, and they even just gave them the fake numbers. That would help them. That would help defend themselves a lot better than just telling, I don't know. Get the fuck out of here. But here we are. You're allowed to expel someone from private property for any reason. I know, and the cops is enforcing the rule, and Nick Shirley is following the rules. But still, I hate Somalians. Unfortunately, coppers are not friends. I know. Like, I respect coppers. I respect the policemen. I know they're necessary to do their jobs.
Out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed
Covering their own face. Look at them smiling and being smug, all wearing new fancy clothes.
over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building.
Right here you have multicultural home care. And right here it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another Reliance Recovery Center. Mercy and Grace Care, Inc. Right here you have...
At least this building's a lot nicer, but probably still fraud. Probably recently renovated or built, probably renovated, with the millions they're receiving with it. Ugh.
Denden Eritrean Youth Development Association of Minnesota. Another child care center. Welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I?
Right here you have Serenity Quality Care. All of these businesses are literally the same type of business providing the same service in the same building. Another Convenience Home Health Care Aid, Inc., and Child Friendly Space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, Queenly Home Healthcare. It just does not make sense. If you're trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here, they have all of their competition right next door. We're one.
That's a very solid point. Why would you do this? Well, they're tribal and they're frauding. Like, they're committing fraud. So, here we are. And they probably sit on their ass all day. They probably do have some sort of service that they have with other Somalians to give them the money. Because the fraud in Minnesota is more than the GDP of Somalia itself. I mean, 78% of Somalians in Minnesota are on welfare. And they all have nice clothes and iPhones and cars. So, more than likely, this money this is just a shell company. And this money is going to someplace else for the others in the Somalian community. And that's what they're doing. So,
because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
I don't know that.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud, okay? That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now, you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you.
No,
something wrong. He can't even articulate. He doesn't have the English or the brain power or both to even articulate what Nick is doing wrong. He's just like, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong.
You don't have to ask me, okay? Don't ask me that question again.
Okay.
Okay.
Who can I speak to?
Yeah?
Who can I speak to? Okay. As soon as you confront them about the fraud, they get angry. When these people have these home healthcare companies, you're seeing them everywhere inside this building. What kind of fraud are they committing?
So there's false documentation being submitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. They're having forms signed in advance for services that were then never rendered. As far as a year or 2 years in advance, they'll have someone sign these forms at one sitting, and then they just file those with the state of Minnesota, and nobody from the state of Minnesota bothers to check that those services were ever provided.
So they're essentially just using people, saying that they had these services provided months or even years ago, then filing the paperwork and then receiving money from the government.
Right, and the Somali community is a very closed community, so everybody's in on it, and they don't want to talk, as you can see.
And for this bill,
Now, somebody did mention in chat a while ago when I did mention how the Somalians are so super tribal. That is true. But also they brought over their clan wars from Somalia themselves. That's why Omar Fateh lost, is because he backed the wrong horse, or he's part of the wrong clan, versus Jacob Frey, the Jew, was part of the other clan of Somalians. So more than likely what this case is, this building is probably like a fraud center for one Somalian clan, and the other building is another fraud center for like the other Somalian clan. And they both know what they're doing, and since they're Somalians, they're still not going to say anything. They're not going to oust each other because then it puts the target on their back. But that's what they have, all these like different buildings doing this stuff. So one clan gets their little fraud center, and the other clan gets their fraud center, and they're both in on it, so they can enrich their own clans.
I'm going to give an estimate of around $30 million for how much fraud is.
$108 million, bro. How does... I can't. How many digits is that? That's 9 digits. I can't compute 9 digits. I'm too retarded for 9 digits to be able to, like, even process how much money that is. God damn it. And we're still have another 10 more minutes before we finish this video.
Taking place. That is a very low estimate. However, still a lot of money in fraud.
And do you think there is fraud taking place here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Do you have any idea what any of these businesses are doing?
I never ask.
And now, with upwards of $100 million in fraud, we headed to one more daycare. And this one gets a little spicy as we get chased out at the very end. And after this, we'll be heading to the state capitol to confront the incompetent government leaders who have enabled this fraud to happen.
And I knew this video was going to be super dangerous to film because of obviously how hostile it is, and as we are exposing legit fraud happening. I did get security for this video, and I was able to do it through the Black Line Guardian. And if you guys want to help fund my security in the future, you can go down to the link down below. They're not paying me to say any of this. They came in and decided to help me out for this video. So you can go to Black Line Guardian, the link's down below, and click Guardian for Nick, and those funds will directly go to my security and future videos as we are
Yeah, I'd rather help pay for Nick Shirley security than Candace Owens by a long shot. By a long shot. Oh my god. Oko has been doing a lot of streams on Candace Owens and how much of a fucking retard she is. Oh, I mean, be a black and a woman, name a worse debuff, right? She is awful. I'm sure Nick Shirley is making a good chunk of money off of this, but I'd rather money goes towards him and action covering these fraud scams versus Egyptian planes and helping a black woman.
Exposing lots of things happening, especially with this fraud. Like I said, they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just giving them a shout out because of how they helped me. So go down to the link down below, click Guardian for Nick, and let's keep going. And now we're going to the next location. Now, this child daycare center, this one's different than all the other ones we've been to. Tell us about this one.
This one is different because, according to the state of Minnesota, this 312 West Lake Street houses not one, not two, but 3 child care centers and is licensed to hold 102 children, and in fiscal year 2025 was paid $2.66 million by the state of Minnesota.
And this is the building right here. So this building alone made $2.6 million. Building right.
Teo and Nuna Childcare, GEDI, adult daycare, and I can't read the rest of the signs. So we have childcare and adult daycare. Listen, I know the Somalian IQ on average is 68, but how many adult daycares are there needed? And do you really want to put adult daycare next to a childcare center? I think it's a little risky-disky.
Here. So this building alone made $2.6 million. Let's see if anybody is inside.
Look how nasty that, oh my god, look how nasty that door is.
$2.6 million.
Look at that! It's like has graffiti on it. Like the signs are all like falling apart and fading. It has like the salt and from the melted snow and shit. Like, oh my fucking god, that's disgusting. I wouldn't even send my child there if there was an actual real place.
See if anybody's inside.
Look at that. And it's dark, so I can't tell. Look, that looks like it might be covered. It's kind of hard to tell with it being there's no lights on the inside and the salt graffiti shit. How do you even do that? How do you even make salt graffiti? Ghetto camouflage, clearly. Maybe that's the point. Yeah, I guess it is. That actually, you know what? That is quite clever. That is quite clever. Make your child care quote unquote center look ghetto as fuck, so no one would actually, entrust their kids there, so you can continue on the fraud with whatever the case is.
Now we're inside of the building where there's apparently 4 child care centers.
We met this lady and we followed her to the back of the building where the daycare was supposedly at.
So look how nasty this building is. So once again, why would you even want to put your child there? Look, that looks awful. It looks like a fucking prison. But then inside, they did the painting. Look at those happy little kids writing on the flying pencil. Welcome. Visitor, sorry, no entry of no face mask, even though it's literally, it's almost 2026. Proud to be a parent aware something here. Choose your dream. Well, at least they're putting on the act a lot better than they were on the outside.
This lady and we followed her to the back of the building where the daycare was supposedly at.
So right here we have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, $2.66 million. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Why are you recording?
Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out 102 children. Is that for this facility?
What is the name? Why is it?
It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your child care.
Which child care name is a lot of
Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
Where the children are?
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million.
To be fair, no offense to the boomer, this is not, I feel like, the best question to ask. Because if a random man actually came to a real childcare center and it was like, where are the children? Even if the children were present there, which would be a stupid question if that was the case. But like, still, it's a little bit suspicious, to say the least. I know what he's doing, but I feel like it's not the best question to ask in this case. It would be like the Joey question that Nick has been asking is the best one, because if a child is actually a real childcare center, they should say yes, we'll let him in, or sorry, we're full, and then you could possibly ask, okay, well, how many kids do you have? Like, is it like I want to know, like, if there's too many kids, then like, you know, I don't want to send my kid there because that's like too many or whatever the case is, right? You can go from that line of thought. So he's not being very tactful to say the least. Yeah, he's being a little bit too pointed with his questions. But I mean, at this point, this is what I lost count how many how many places they stopped by. Is this like 10? So
dollars this year in funding, and 2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where are you? Which department?
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the
Oy vey, shut it down.
children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look, at this daycare center right here, no children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We were just curious, where are the children at? Do you know where the children are at? Where are the children at in these daycare centers?
I don't think I've seen a single skinny Somalian woman in this entire video, 35 minutes in. Every single one of them have been overweight. Some bigger than others, but they're all fucking overweight.
I don't care.
How come these childcare centers have no children? There's $2.6 million inside these businesses that were given by the government, but there's no children to be seen anywhere. People deserve to know where their taxes are going. If these companies and these daycare centers are making upwards of $2.6 million and there's no children to be seen anywhere, something fraudulent is happening. And that is not make you racist, Islamophobic. This is just the truth of what's happening here in Minnesota. If there's a bunch of white people doing the same thing, we'd be talking about the same issue.
Well, yes, he's correct and he's incorrect at the same time. This is what I mean when I say about with the crime statistics, about just locking up anybody who commits multiple crimes, you know, multiple felonies. Like, it's obviously a race issue because it's clearly only one race that's doing it, the blacks, right? And so therefore it is a race issue. You can package it to the normies as this is clearly a mass amount of crime happening here. And if any leftist wants to cry racist because the Somalians are doing it, in this case a fraud, or the blacks because they stab so much, well, just ignore them, because who cares if it's racist if a majority of a group is doing this? They're still committing crime. Like, you don't have to actually make a racist argument for it. However, it clearly is racism. It is because it's not even racism. Like, it's just being the truth, because it's if a majority of a group is committing the majority of crime, then it's clearly a problem with the group. And it's not, I mean, you can't be labeled racist for calling it out, but like, it's one group that's committing all this crime. So then you just have to handle the group. There might be a 0.01% of them that are good ones, quote unquote. But why would you want to sacrifice your community, your tax dollars, your white women for the 0.01% being the quote unquote good ones, when the 99.9% of them are committing fraud or stabbing and burning white women on trains? Like, you know, like it's clearly you're being self-sacrificing there. But technically, you don't have to make it a race issue. You can just package it up as this is a serious crime, is a shit ton of crime. You should crack down on this.
This is just fraud at unprecedented levels here inside of Minnesota. It's actually very concerning. Where are the children at inside of these buildings? They're nowhere to be seen. Millions of dollars are being sent into these daycare centers all across Minnesota, and there's not a child to be seen anywhere. Here's another daycare center inside of the same building.
We don't want you to be videotaping anything.
Where is all the money going for if there's no children at these daycare centers?
Sir.
Yes.
I told you, please leave.
Yes, we have a question though. Where is the children at these daycare centers if there's millions of dollars?
Ask the local government, yeah.
Oh, we've asked. We have the paper here. So we're wondering where the money and where the children are at. We have the paper right here. Come here.
Who are you, first of all?
My name's Nick Shirley.
This looks like a garage too. This looks like a parking garage with that garage door that's.
Oh, we've asked. We have the paper here. So we're wondering where the money and where the children are at. We have
like with how run down it is, the bright LED lights, muted colors, and that door right there for whatever business is supposed to be there. This looks like a fucking dump. But of course, Somalians are there. So what do you expect?
We have the paper right here. Come here.
Who are you, first of all?
My name's Nick Shirley.
You don't have any permission to record me. Period.
Can we talk outside?
You don't have permission to record.
She doesn't either have. She doesn't have permission to record me.
You cannot stop people on the street and question them.
We can ask.
You don't have any permission.
Where
I'll
are the
sue you.
children?
Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a dumb woman on the internet. I do know, or I guess I should say, correct me if I'm wrong in chat, that certain states have different laws on recording for different things. But Nick Shirley is correct. If the Somalian's going to be pulling the whole "you don't have permission to record me" card, that lady in the background also doesn't have permission to record Nick Shirley, as he just said. Two can play at this game. And, well, he's just asking for rights. He's not doing anything wrong.
I will sue you. You don't have any permission. We have nothing to do with this. You
Okay.
understand?
Then are there
So
children?
leave. Please leave.
Are there children here?
Please leave.
Where are the
And
children?
now he's recording him. Once again, two can play that game. I know double standards exist for a reason, right? There's a double standard between men and women, and that's a good thing. But in the case of the law, oh, I don't think so much anymore.
Children, $2.6 million for a daycare center.
You ask whoever you think is doing that. You don't know what you're talking about. So leave. Leave.
Tell us what's happening here then.
I said leave.
We're wondering what's
We
happening.
are not a child care. We are nothing to do with it. We'll come.
If that 60 IQ kicked in, he would be smart and call the police, because I'm sure the police getting another call with Nick Shirley, quote unquote, harassing more Somalian centers for this after he got kicked out for trespassing on the last one. That would probably put him in a graver situation than he was originally. But that 60 IQ is 60 IQ, so, you know, can't think further than 15 seconds ahead and then panicking over the fact that Shirley's there in the first place. Whether two-party consent usually only applies when you're doing it covertly. If you're holding a camera, it's obvious you're recording. You don't need to run around asking for consent. Correct, some states have what is called single-party consent when it comes to recording. It varies by state, though. Okay. So I guess it like I said, depends on the state and what's the situation here. And it's very obvious he's recording. So, you know.
Some people walking. And
Yes.
You are.
We're not accusing you. We're asking where the children are at.
Don't ask me anything.
We're not accusing you. We're asking the daycare centers.
I am not gonna answer. You have.
Where are the children at?
Leave. Leave.
We just want to know where are the children.
Who you work for?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Who do you work for?
I work for myself, Nick Shirley.
Okay. What are you recording?
We're wondering where are the children? $2.66 million for
You're not talking to
the
the
Minnesota
right person.
Child Care Center.
You're not talking to the right person.
Are there children that come here? Answer
You're
the
not
question.
talking
Are
to
there
the right
children?
person. Leave.
There's no children inside this building.
Once again, that 68 IQ has to process his question.
That's just a simple question. Where are the children at? David, they won't even answer. We asked him, plain and simple, where are the children? Do children come here?
This is why I've had my life. I've been attacked twice. Once with a knife, and the other time I was jumped last Saturday by 3 Somali men simply for asking questions about what was going on.
Bruh, how is he alive? how he looks unscathed. Like, what? Hold on. Jesus Christ, how did he get away?
And they're very, very violent people. They do not like this fraud to be exposed.
After giving this man plenty of
black and Muslim.
opportunities to answer the simple question, where are the children, he called the cops on us and we headed to the state capitol where they're having a meeting about the fraud to confront the state rep.
Oh, yes.
To the state capitol.
The Somalian flag. I covered this in one of my other streams about Somalia. But the Minnesota recently changed their flag a few years back to make it look purposely like the Somalian flag. Like, if you compare the new Minnesota flag with the Somalian flag, it's almost a 1-to-1. Same color with a star and shit. Like, they've done it on purpose. It's complete fucking takeover. And Tim Wilson's more than proud of this. Actually, I remember a few years ago, maybe it was when he was running for VP, or maybe it was before that. I'm not exactly sure. My memory is so shit. But there was a video of him being showcasing the new Somalian flag, and he had it proudly right next to the American flag. He actually replaced the American flag with the Somalian flag. Like, it was fucking ridiculous. Or maybe it was an old Minnesota flag with the Somalian flag. Okay, like I said, memory bad. But like, it was just insane how proud he was to do that. New Somalia.
where they're having a meeting about the fraud to confront the state representatives and people in the government who have enabled and let this fraud happen. Inside of this committee, a Republican representative showed charts showing exactly how this fraud has been committed and who is profiting and connecting all the dots. And while the Democrat representatives looked into the
Oh, he looks pissy.
abyss, one of them spoke about how none of this is building trust and how this is a nonpartisan issue, so I went and confronted her after that.
Yes, but
He has some very valid questions to ask about what's going on here in Minnesota. And do you think this fraud
I don't know who
crosses?
you are.
My name's Nick Shirley. Do you think this fraud is Republican or Democrat, or just facts that fraud is happening? Because because that's what I heard you talking about. That
I know what I said is that
because
what we're talking
we want
about
to build
is
we want to build trust, but fraud is fraud. So why should we be enabling fraud to happen here?
no, I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to
When are you
happen.
gonna hold Governor Walz accountable for this?
Okay, sir.
No.
Is it a rare base black man? Is there a rare base black man in my video?
No, this
Sir,
is not.
sir.
When are you gonna hold Governor Walz? No. She is a representative.
Oh, look at that. I know it's not a full-on rainbow, but I see that. I see the haircut. I see how overweight she is, and I think lesbian or some gaytard.
For the state of Minnesota, yes or no?
Excuse me?
Yes, are you?
If you're gonna talk to me like
Are you
that,
gonna say to her, I'm a disability advocate?
I heard you, and
get
you got a chance
overstimulated.
to testify.
But,
No.
ma'am, the facts are the facts that fraud is happening here, and it's not a nonpartisan issue. How come you think fraud has been able to happen so much underneath
I think
the
if you've
government
been
here?
listening to our hearings, we've had now 10 hearings on this. And so there's really good data from the people who both work within the administration as well as who, both Democrat and Republicans. I think
Yes.
what you heard today is that the Republicans who control this committee are not actually interested in solving fraud. What they're interested in is telling a story.
This fraud has happened underneath Democrat leader Tim Walz.
There has been Medicaid fraud across the country under Democrats and Republicans. There's fraud within the Trump administration. We have is fraud. Private providers have made government a mark. And so every person running government, Democrats or Republicans, are dealing with the issue of how to keep fraudsters out of our public payment. We're also dealing with veterans. We're dealing with...
I mean, she technically has a point. She technically has a point. Okay, so before you crucify me here, like, Republicans are fully aware of this fraud. Now, the Republicans that are in that committee is trying to handle it, which is great. I'm glad. But it's only been in the past year that the Somalian scam has kicked up into being, international news where everyone's talking about it after Trump became president, which I'm glad they're finally solving it. But this has been going on for about roughly 10 years, if not more. On top of that, there are Republicans in red states that are also doing the same thing, not just with Somalians, but with other groups, whether it be Mexicans or Indians, like in Texas. There's a huge Indian H-1B, just Indian scam in general in Texas. Both Indiana and Ohio are having a Haitian problem. And Ohio is technically a swing state, but generally is a little bit more on the red side. And Indiana is a solid red state. They're having a huge Haitian immigration problem with the Catholic Charities, in particular. Like, this is technically a nonpartisan issue since both politicians are getting rich. It's just the Democrats are the ones that are making it worse. I would probably say they're probably the more evil between them. The Republicans are the lesser of the two evils. So technically she's correct in that standpoint. But in this particular case with Minnesota, once again, in particular, it's definitely a Democrat problem because Tim Walz is the one signing the check. Tim Walz is more than happy to let the Somalians in and replace the Somalian flag, replace the Minnesota flag with Somalian flag. To let Ilhan Omar run amok and Omar Fateh, Jacob Frey, was supporting the other Somalian clan instead, and that's why he won. Different things like that. It's very much a Democrat problem in the case of Minnesota. So she's correct, but she's incorrect at the same time. And she's trying too hard to blame the Trump administration, but she's a overweight white woman, so what do you expect? How do you think the glamour could claw back the money? It's all gone overseas, or still while they're in the bank accounts. It's all gone. Like, your money is burnt up. The money is gone. A lot of it's going to remittance taxes. The Somalian government is being paid by your tax dollars because these are shell companies that are sending money over to Somalia. Like, the fraud that's going on in Minnesota is higher than the actual GDP of Somalia itself. It's actually insane. It's burnt up. It's used on those new iPhones those Somalian had. It's used on those how fat those Somalian women were. It's used on their brand new jackets, like that Michael Kors one from the very beginning. Like, it's all gone. It's all gone. And yeah, chat, she is deflecting. I agree. She's correct, but she's incorrect at the same time. And the way she's incorrect is because she's deflecting here.
With consumers, I hope you're looking at that. If you look at United Health, currently is being charged with defrauding Medicare. You know who runs Medicare? President Trump. Medicaid fraud is a—
Bro, Trump got into office January of this fucking year. He is the one who had Doge with Elon Musk. And technically Vivek Ramaswamy, but he got kicked out. Like, they were trying to uncover the fraud, and it was so bad, and they couldn't do jack shit about it, that Doge crumbled before it barely got it far because of how much fraud they fucking had. It was insane. It blackballed, Elon and the government even more than you could ever imagine. So I don't think it's Trump's fault that Minnesota has been doing the Somalian scam for at least, like, 10 fucking years. Come on.
50-state issue. And so, again, it is not a partisan issue. There are Democrats and Republicans who are sitting in that committee talking about it. But what you did here was the Republican chair say she's not turning information over to the one person in government who can stop payment. And I hope you print that. Thank you for coming today.
Okay, that's a weird fucking dress. That gives me foreign flag vibes, and I don't like it, but... Okay, so that does make me curious. If what that woman who just left was true, why isn't that Republican woman actually turning over to the one person that would do anything about it? And if that one person is Tim Walz, then I can understand why she's not doing it. If it's supposed to be Trump, then, well, that's a whole different story in itself. It does make me a bit concerned that she's not, but when you're deflecting and trying to make it Trump's fault like this, you're clearly showing your partisanship. I know everyone's biased. Obviously, I'm biased. I don't like Republicans or Democrats, but Democrats are far, far, far fucking worse. But you can't just blame Trump for him being in office for about a year now. About this that's been going on for so long. You can blame Trump for not actually fulfilling his word and deporting Ilhan Omar, even though he keeps on saying it. You can blame Trump for not sending ICE in there, guns a-blazing, and ripping these Somalians out of the buildings. You can blame Trump for that, but you can't blame him for the fraud. Your pill swallowing problem was Trump's fault here. Clearly, Orange Man bad.
Okay. Crazy.
Well, you saw what happened there.
The state of Minnesota that we live in, and these politicians are just walking off, thinking it's okay Tuesday, and they want to go visit the Trump. They want to blame the Trump administration. We have Democrats blaming ICE. I'm tired. My people are suffering. I'm scared for my little brother. My people are suffering, and these people just walk off. We have a governor who fucking doesn't care. How many more people are gonna freaking die? How many more people are gonna go homeless? And how many more people are gonna be trafficked in our freaking system?
Okay, I have to admit, I got the ick. However, he makes very strong points. Okay. We all work too hard and pay too much and taxes for billions to be wasted. Based, I agree. It's time to reclaim our cities from corruption and legal fraudsters. Also based, I agree. Send in the military. Subscribe for more videos. Yes. This is fucking crazy. Like, I was spoiled on this video, at least a decent bit, just because it's been going viral for the past day now. I mean, what's it at now? 63.2 million views, a shit ton of likes, retweets, and comments and stuff. Like, this is crazy, and this is just the Twitter one. I purposely chose Twitter because I don't really want to support YouTube, though maybe I should have done YouTube because he at least would get the ad revenue there. But I was worried that YouTube would eventually take down the video, so there's that. Help support him because, like, he's actually doing the work here. I am just a random retarded woman that's just reacting to his video and stuff. I'm not really adding, like, that much to the grand scheme of things, but he's actually trying. He's actually going in, risking his life, and doing the actual investigative journalism to try to figure out what the fuck is going on and publishing this to the world. And that takes a lot of fucking balls to do so. So definitely give him a follow, like, retweet, you know, watch the video, like, help him out because he's clearly he's doing the best.